And on these two right here, let's not go too hard on them two right there, okay? Because nobody's talking about the fact how your husband, all right, discarded you the same way after you had the baby. And for those of you who are going to throw back, well, you know, being a wife versus a baby mama means that, you know, you get half and you get alimony and child support or whatever. Baby girl, if you worked up until the day before your due date, all right, there's no alimony. Matter of fact, there will be alimony, but you will be paying him alimony. All right. I don't know if y'all have noticed yet, but we's free now, okay? You can own property and have bank accounts and life insurance policies and stuff like that in your own name, all right? Most of y'all are not marrying at the level of actually having or receiving any type of child support that's significant or any type of alimony or anything like that. You're the breadwinner in your house, babe. You're splitting the bills 50-50. About 99.9% of us, and when I say us, I mean this and this included, are going to be single moms from some way, form, or fashion through, you know, he unalives, or you're a single married mother, or you're a single mom just doing it all out on your own. 99.9% of us are going to be single moms. So this right here, breakup, not really surprising. And I'm not really convinced that it's true because DDG, he likes to play a lot. I'm really not going to believe this until Chloe comes out of her own mouth to say what's up, okay? But at the end of the day, nobody wins through patriarchy, okay? Nobody. Wife, girlfriend, babe, it doesn't matter. You're not going to win, okay? So it's time for us to stop trying to play these little pissing contests where one is better than the other or whatnot, especially, okay, when you're dating them. So don't go too hard on your girl, okay? She's just learning a lesson that a lot of us had to learn at her age, if, again, this is even facts in the first place. But a lot of us had to learn this lesson the hard way, okay? So don't fix your mouth to dampen this girl's shine right here. All right?
Life is not over after having a kid. Like, people want to let you think that your life is over. Like, who are you to tell me my life is over when there are people who don't even have the life that I have and have 0 kids? Hey guys, I am taking it way back, old school, original BTaylor sit down videos, and this has been on my heart, and I'm just like, F it. My voice is needed for this topic and discussion because there's not too many content creators who are mothers, specifically mothers who are single, speaking up about this. And I'm gonna be quite frank with you guys, there has been an attack on motherhood. Now I'm gonna do a couple of disclaimers because a lot of people, when I get to talking, they're gonna probably misconstrue a lot of my words and say I'm promoting this, I'm promoting negative behavior, I'm promoting being a single mother, I'm promoting having kids out of wedlock and blah 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 blah. There are way too many content creators and way too many men without wombs giving advice to women and men to not have kids outside of wedlock. Okay, we have enough of those. But I'm gonna be speaking for the forgotten voices, the ones that have fallen on deaf ears, the ones where there are mothers who are single mothers, but their tactic is shaming you for having the kids. And I'm gonna take a different approach to that because shaming, for some reason, for me, society thinks shaming is going to make the situation better for people who are already in the situation. And not to say that shaming tactic is not working, but at the same time, to what extent? So I recently just came across a post where it was a single mother, and she posted and said, the regret of who you choose to have kids with before you learn to love yourself is never-ending mom guilt. Hell, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And so when I went into the comments, I started to see, you know, I saw Erica Mena in the comments. Of course, y'all know her and Safari. She was married to this man, and it's just been hell for her ever since. Then this one woman commented, I am this child. I hold 0 resentment towards my mom. She was manipulated too, and there isn't a way a mom can predict what type of parent the father is going to become. Having one good parent is more than a lot of kids have. Then you had another woman who, you know, had a different take. She said, "This is the first time I've seen a woman actually take ownership of that choice and forgive themselves, understand why they made that choice. At the same time, thank God for self-awareness people exist. Self-aware people exist." I don't see where she's taking ownership. It seems like more like she's taking shame and she has a guilt. I don't see where she says that she fully forgived herself, because if you fully forgive yourself, then you're not going to be still living with guilt. It's like people just continue to see what they want to see. So this other woman commented, "Some of you have stretched the meaning of this so far. Every day I cry because my son has no love from his father. Has nothing to do with me. He deserved better and I failed him. I ignored major red flags because I thought I was supposed to work hard for love. Society fails young women daily. We need to teach our daughters that love should feel good." Then another commentator, "After being a child social worker and teacher for over 5 years, now I can confidently say most parents should not have had their kids. Being a parent is a thankless job, and eventually those babies grow up and see you exactly for who you are." So I keep seeing a lot of women in the comments say that they are living with this guilt, and I too was living with this guilt. I'm still working through that guilt and beating myself up every day. People think that this is like a good tactic. It's a good tactic to have some sense of self-awareness and understanding, and maybe the guilt to keep you from reproducing with the wrong people. Like, yes, it can have its benefits, but if you're living with it every day and you're walking around society with your head held down and you're walking around with a sense of shame every day and feeling like you are the scarlet letter, like men want you to feel. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you ladies right now, a lot of men, most of their reasons why they're making you feel like a scarlet letter, there's multiple reasons, but the ones that want to make you feel like you have no self-worth, it's because they want easy access to you, point blank period. They want easy access to a woman. They want to do the bare minimum for nothing because they feel like your worth is exactly how that man treated you. Men base off your worth of how other men have treated you, and that is patriarchal. And if you want to live by patriarchal rules, then you're going to find yourself holding your head down very low for the rest of your life. Or you're going to realize no matter what you do in society, people are going to judge you. If you don't have kids, people are going to judge you. If you have kids, people are going to judge you. If you get married and decide to not have kids, people are going to judge you. If you get married and have too many kids, people are going to judge you. You can think about the ballerina farm lady. She has 7 kids and she's married, and she was still judged for it. And I think we all need to understand that women are not a monolith. There are women who actually do want to have kids, but realize that they're probably, the way life is right now, they're not going to have them. So everyone's trying to soothe their ego. Everyone's trying to soothe themselves in some way possible. But that doesn't mean that you go around shaming other people or think that you're better than other people because, you know, you didn't make this mistake. You didn't make that mistake. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. When life is our teacher, not you, not society. Life is going to teach us. And sometimes life got to teach us harder than others. And for me, I think a lot of people don't really understand my situation. Like, I am a mother of 2, okay? I have 2 kids, okay? A lot of people have talked about that on the internet. I have 2 children. And for the longest, I was judged, and I still am judged for it. And I realized that, no matter what you do, you're gonna be judged for it. And you can either look at your children like a burden or a blessing at the end of the day. Like, I can't stick my kids back up my vaginal hole and get rid of them. Like, they're here, you know, and this is where I'm speaking directly to women who have children. There are women who have children who never even wanted children. I'm not talking to them either, because I honestly, you have to ask yourself, why did you have children and what are you gonna do about it now? your outlook right now, like I said, you can either look at them like a blessing or a burden. Like, you have to life give you lemons, and that saying gets old, but you really got to think about it. I'm either going to nourish what I have, or I'm going to always treat it with resentment and anger and frustration and blame everybody for all the decisions, or blame myself. And I'm going to tell you something, like, feeling guilt all the time for something that's done, it's not going to progress you. It's not going to help you. And I actually looked it up on Google. Regret can be unhealthy and have a negative impact on mental health. It can lead to depression, anxiety, and a sense of feeling stuck. That's exactly where I was a few years ago, or even just last year, or even a few months ago. It can have you making decisions about life where it's probably not the smartest decisions, or you're so desperate to have a man in the house that you pick the wrong man and you pick the wrong person to get married to because you're rushing, because you're trying to please society, when society is not meant to be pleased, because society keeps changing. Every day there's new rules to society. And once you realize that you were put here to experience the world and not have the world tell you what to do, how to act, and fall in line and fit into a box, and that we're not a monolith, and that we're all different. There are women who want kids, and with a passion, they want to be a mommy. They feel it in their hearts of hearts, and they want to be a mom. Those are the women. Be a mother. Be a mother. There's enough videos and knowledge and Shira Sevens out there, and single women who will tell you how to protect your womb. But I'm not speaking to those women. I'm speaking to the ones who already have the children. Don't feel ashamed for having your children. Your ideal may not be ideal, but use those babies as your motivation to want better. And I can tell you my own story. I became a mother at 23 years old, okay? And a lot of people want to say, oh my God, like, you gave up all your 20s. And I probably did. And you know what? Everything in life happens for a reason. Many people can predict my future and project that my life would have been like this if I didn't have kids, and my life would have been like that. I'm not in that life, okay? Like, that's not my life. Like, that's not my life. That's not the life that I chose, regardless if you agree with it or not. Like, at the end of the day, my babies are blessings to me. My babies have really their presence alone. I know for a fact that their spirits have called on me, and that's why they're here, okay? I was out there, not making the best decisions, and quite frankly, like, I didn't love myself, and I'm still trying to learn how to love myself and who I am and accept myself fully. The good, the bad, the negative things about myself, the positive things about myself, because quite frankly, we all have a dark side. We all have a light side to us. And I think in society has taught us to only show the light side, only show the good side, only show your highlight reel. When really, like, if you're living in this world, you're most likely jaded in some way, or your experiences have shaped you in some way in who you are now. And just because somebody did something one way, like, you can look up to people and role models and try to follow their lead. That's great. Like, having role models, that's cool. Like, having people that you kind of look up to, but understand that your journey is your journey. Their journey is their journey. Okay, can you be inspired? I say rather be inspired by people than try to actually follow people in every step that they take, because what you may be following may not even be for you. So I became a mother at 23. I was in college, and I decided that, that was the decision that I made for myself. I took accountability and said, yeah, like, I was thinking having unprotected sex brought me closer to my man. I thought that, maybe, that shows him that I'm dedicated, when really I didn't know no men. I didn't know men. Like, it don't matter. Like, you over here trying to compete for his love and let him know, like, you can have all of me. Just, I just want to show you, like, I'm 100% in. And by showing you that I'm 100% in, I'm risking my womb for you. And once I realized that's not how men think, after my many lessons of being in a relationship with the two men that I was in, I realized that after learning, like, that's not how men think, that's how women think. And I think a lot of women are operating of, if I give my full self, if I give 100% of myself to this man, he will love me and I will earn his love and dedication. And that's far from the truth. Like, actually holding back and protecting yourself doesn't make you like every other woman. It actually makes you very different, because so many women are willing to just give themselves to a man to show how loyal and dedicated she is to this relationship. She actually gives too much, and why buy the cow when the milk is free? So my decision to have my babies is like, I was in college, I was about to graduate, dad's in college, he's about to graduate, it's our senior year. I've been in a long-term relationship with this man. I know his family, he knows my family. We're talking about how we want marriage for ourselves, we want a future for ourselves. Like, this is the person that I wanted to be with at one point and thought that I was gonna have a future with, being together at the time of my mindset, And so having a baby with my boyfriend didn't seem like a bad idea at the time, especially because we're about to graduate. He's at an internship making over $50,000 a year just at an internship. So just imagine how much money he was gonna make. And then I end up getting hired making over $45,000 a year in college. I got hired at a job making over $45,000 a year, and I was still in college. So we were pretty much set up in a way financially where I'm like, hey, we're not really in a bad position financially to have a child, although we're in college. But in my fantasy world, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a not so bad setup. And when life was lifing and I lost my job, he lost his internship, we broke up, like, life was like, what the hell? Like, you cannot plan for things. Like, you could be married to this person and end up divorced with this person. Like, you don't plan for the worst. And I think that's the problem. We really don't plan for the worst. And I really honestly was not moving out of fear. I was moving out of hope, and I was moving out of being optimistic. But at the same time, I knew that I wasn't being too optimistic with just anybody. Like, I knew that this man was a family man, made sacrifices for his family, career orientated, college educated, valued education. So I didn't just pick anybody for my child's father, right? So that's why, like, my children's fathers, they're great fathers. They're very active fathers. They're with their fathers right now while I make this video. It's like 50-50 with us. Like, they have them 5 days on, I have them 5 days on. They have them 5 days off, I have them 5 days off. Like, I am very fortunate and blessed to have a very peaceful co-parenting situation and very active fathers. But that's because I looked at it from like that standpoint. So is my situation ideal? No, but you cannot predict what it is. You can only just look at it and say, hey, you know what? I'm thankful for my children. Who are you to try to tell me what my life would have been if I didn't have my children? Like, you don't know me. You don't know the things that was going on in my head and how irresponsible I was and how I didn't give enough love for myself, but I changed once I had my kid and gave my child so much love, where I'm like, they deserve a better version of me. I couldn't do it for myself, but my child's presence made me want to be a better person for myself, made me work harder, made me more disciplined, made me more, wiser. And I didn't think that I would be here with 2 kids, but lesson learned in that. I thought I loved myself. I was preaching about self-love, and then boom, life hits you where you end up making decisions where you're like, that's not so self-loving. And you know what? It was some lessons that had to be learned within that too. And I accept that for what it is, like, I can sit here and pout and shame myself and tell myself I'm disgusting and I'm this and I'm that, or life give you lemons. Like, let me tell you, I still graduated from college with a 3.8 GPA. I got my degree and I worked hard as hell by myself to get myself through college. I bust my butt to get the job that I have, that I've been holding for the past almost 10 years in my career field in journalism, where I've won awards and I had the experiences and I've traveled and met all these celebrities and influencers and all these people that I've had the opportunity to do. And like, my children help motivate me. Like, I have this beautiful home, and honestly, I would never went out and made a way and to make more money with my career if it wasn't for my children. Like, I don't want to settle because of my children. And like I said, you can either look at them like a blessing or a burden. Like, your situation may not be ideal, but what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna cry and hold your head down and be sad and be mad about it? Like, hell, if you gotta go out and get assistance, go get assistance. But the point about getting assistance is like, don't stay on that. Don't stay on assistance. Make a plan. Get yourself out of the hell that you probably help put yourself into, and learn from that situation and not let nobody else put you in that situation. You know, like, your life is not over after having a kid. Like, people want to let you think that your life is over. Like, who are you to tell me my life is over when there are people who don't even have the life that I have and have 0 kids, don't even have the experiences that I've had and have no kids at all. And my children, they holidays are just better with them. I get to get off of work and work hard and come home to smiling faces. Like, can it be messy? Can they get on your nerves? Can they be selfish? Can they only think about themselves and in the middle of a breakdown and they're like, mommy, cookie? Like, you know, they can do all those things, but it's your outlook on life. Like, you can either choose, you literally are in control of choosing your outlook on life. And you can either shame yourself and live in anxiety and live in depression and be sad and always holding your head down and thinking about how this didn't work out and that didn't work out and this and this and this and this. Like, everything is leading you to exactly where you're supposed to be. You can either cry and try to, you know, force something that's not meant to happen, or you can make lemonade of what the lemons that life have served you. So I'm just wanting to let mothers know, like, you are seen, you are heard, you are worthy. And don't let anybody, man or woman, try to make you feel like you are not good enough. Like, this is just straight up high school all over again, where everybody's trying to fit in. Everybody's trying to be the popular kid. Everybody's trying to, you know, do everything perfectly. And like, we were not put here to be perfect. We were not put here. We were here to learn. And if you are religious, like, Jesus hung out with the sinners. He didn't hang out with the saints. He didn't hang out with the people who were so righteous and did nothing wrong and just this big ego. Like, that's not who Jesus hung out with. You know, Jesus hung out with the sinners because they have experience. I have experience. I have real life experience. And my life didn't stop having kids. Can you have it all? Maybe not all at once. Maybe you will have to make sacrifices. And I will give you the reality of being a mother. Like, stop trying to go back to your old life. Once you give birth to a child, you are birthing a new version of yourself. And I think that's the problem, is that we're not growing through motherhood. We're trying to stay stuck and find the person back in the past. And it's like, no, you have to relearn who you are. You have to relearn this new person and this new version of yourself each time you have a child. You have to relearn your body, relearn your hormones, relearn yourself and your mindset and how you think and how you act and everything. You have to relearn yourself. You are not just giving birth to a human life, you're giving birth to a new version of you. And that's where a lot of women find themselves feeling like they don't know who they are, because you are a new version of yourself. You're a mother. You gave life. It could be a beautiful, beautiful thing. Can a lot of things in life distract you from those beautiful things? But when you stop overthinking, think about it. You could be in your deathbed right now and you think back on like your life, do you want to think back on like, oh my God, I wish, or would you want to die on your deathbed thinking, you know what, I was the best parent that I could be, and I made sure that I stopped worrying about the what ifs and what's next and this, and I just start doing, and I started living, and I started embracing even the milk spills and the, messiness and the tears and the cries and the poopy